Before we get into today's show, let me tell you about the latest deal from Mike Lindell, MyPillow. Once again, the big box stores have canceled their orders simply because they don't agree with Mike Lindell's politics. They don't like it because he supports President Trump. Well, he's going to pass that savings on to you. No more middleman. And boy, does he have some great deals on the Giza Dream sheets and the Percal bed sheets. Listen to this. Giza Dream queen size, normally $139.98. Your wholesale price, $69.99 when you use promo code Joey. King size, only $79.99. The Percal queen size, normally $89.98. Your wholesale price, $29.98 when you use promo code Joey. Just call 1-800-893-4059 or go to MyPillow.com. Always use promo code Joey. Free shipping options available. This allotment's not going to last very long. When they're gone, they're gone. MyPillow.com, promo code Joey. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. Welcome in on this Friday after Christmas. Lots to cover today. Employees at a Louisiana factory are finding themselves again believing in Santa after their boss handed out six-figure bonus checks to every employee in the building. Did your boss give you a Christmas bonus? The Biden family Christmas greeting is getting some attention, and again, Joe Biden finds himself at the butt end of the joke. And a prominent Rhode Island Democrat has gone viral after being pulled over on suspicion of drunk driving. Things really went south when she tried to intimidate the arresting officer by suggesting she was a very powerful person and he'd better be careful. Spoiler alert, things didn't turn out too good for her. We heard of Wells Fargo's trucks being hijacked, but a lobster truck? The story is a $400,000 shipment of lobsters headed for Costco locations in Illinois and Minnesota was hijacked before arriving at its delivery points for the Christmas holiday.
I told you we'd be back.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
It's Joey Hudson.
I wanted to name it the Joey Hudson bill, but, they don't allow you to put names on bills. But I wanted to call it the Joey Hudson bill because I know that one's been near and dear to you for a number of years.
That's how it's done. Let your voice be heard.
And the truth shall set you free.
Here's Joey Hudson.
Merry Christmas to you. Hope you had a wonderful celebration of the birth of our Savior, Jesus, while spending a lot of time with your family, eating some good food, and opening gifts or whatever your family tradition is. It's just always fun to take some time off, isn't it? And it's a magical time, especially if you have young children in the family. It's just, it makes you think back to how special Christmas was when you were a child. And again, how magical that time was. So I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and got to take some time off, got to rest up. And hey, look, maybe some of you are lucky enough and you're off for the rest of the year. Just to kind of rewind and get ready for a 2026 that's going to be a busy time, folks. One thing that did not take off for Christmas, Trump derangement syndrome. Evidently, TDS doesn't take a break for Christmas. Have you heard the story about the Christmas headlines at the Kennedy Center? Art, politics, history, cancel culture, jazz, all wrapped up into one tidy Christmas package at the Kennedy Center. It was a Christmas Eve jazz concert. It's been a tradition since 2006, and it was canceled this year after the White House announced that President Donald Trump's name would be added to the Kennedy Center, officially redesignated as the Trump Kennedy Center. And boy, the Democrats have stood on their heads, and especially musician Chuck Red, who's been hosting this annual jazz jam there for about 2 decades now. He said he pulled the plug when he saw the change go live on the building and their website. His quote, "When I saw the name change, I chose to cancel our concert." Now, let's just pause right here and think about this. A Christmas Eve concert canceled not over weather, not over illness, not over a threat or a scheduling problem, but over the words Trump Kennedy Center on the marquee. And that reaction is just the beginning. It's just the start. The Kennedy Center board, now reshaped under President Trump after he removed 18 Biden-appointed trustees earlier this year, voted unanimously to rename the institution. Hours later, workers were already on scaffolding installing the letters. The website header updated. The sign lit up. Now, the response from the Kennedy family, it was very swift, very quick. It was emotional. It was angry by some. Maria Shriver said the move was beyond comprehension. Kerry Kennedy promised that Trump's name will come down the moment he leaves office. So why the outrage? Two reasons. One, emotional, that family dynamic, of course. The other, legal. First, John F. Kennedy's name on the center is a living memorial to an assassinated president. According to records, it was written into law by Lyndon Baines Johnson in 1964. The law also states the board cannot rename or dedicate the structure to anyone else. Again, this is according to reports. Now, President Trump wasn't replacing Kennedy's name. He just added his name. Still, to many in the family and on the left, it represents intrusion into a legacy they hold sacred. Second, of course, is the symbolism. This building has always been a political tug-of-war, but historically, past presidents did not put their own names on it. Trump, however, as you know, isn't shy about his Trump branding. Trump Tower, Trump Plaza, Trump Hotel, and now the Trump Kennedy Center. And yes, critics are calling it an ego play, of course. Supporters say it reflects his election as board chair and his push to revive American arts and culture funding after years of decline. It depends, of course, very much on who's telling the story, who you're talking to. Meanwhile, artists apparently are voting with their feet. Lin-Manuel Miranda canceled Hamilton. Others have quietly backed out. And now this Chuck Red walked away from a beloved Christmas concert. Now, honestly, I'd never heard of Chuck Red before. I'm not a big jazz fan. I like jazz. I mean, I listen to it. I just don't know the players in the jazz world. So for Chuck Red to cancel a concert made no difference to me. Of course, I didn't have a ticket either. If I had a ticket and this was maybe my family tradition to go to the jazz concert at the Trump Kennedy Center on Christmas Eve, I might have been a little more upset. Now, this leads, of course, to a bigger question. Has the arts world become so politicized that they'd rather cancel Christmas music than play under a Trump-branded banner? Because remember, this wasn't a MAGA rally, wasn't even a campaign stop. It was a jazz show, a Christmas jazz concert, a family tradition, holiday music. But this is where we are in America in 2025 as we wait for the ball to drop and 2026 to roll in. A president's name alone can stop a concert at the now Trump Kennedy Center. We have a boycott culture and a counter-boycott culture. Everything is tribal. Everything is symbolic. Nothing is just a performance anymore. Now, here's the irony. Donald Trump didn't take John F. Kennedy's name down. Again, he added his alongside it. So it's still the Kennedy Center. It's still memorializing John F. Kennedy and his service to the country. And if we're being honest, it kind of reflects the divided heart of the country today. Two political dynasties, Camelot and MAGA, carved into one performing arts center. A story of an old Democrat glamour and new Republican populism staring at each other in this huge, beautiful structure on the Potomac. Is it bold for Trump to do so? Yes, it was. Is it controversial? Yeah, no question about that. Is it permanent? Well, again, that depends on voters in November and beyond, because as one of the Kennedy family members stated, the next president could remove it, whether it's a Democrat or Republican. Again, that niece says the name will be removed. Supporters say it will stand for generations. Washington may decide, but culture will decide ultimately. And as we all know, culture moves faster than Congress, doesn't it? So let me ask you, what did you think about it? Do you think the Trump-Kennedy name belongs on the center, or should it just stick strictly to John F. Kennedy? Was Trump wrong to allow his name to be added to it, to even maybe promote and push that his name be added to it? Is canceling a Christmas jazz show over politics a reasonable protest or just a petty stunt? Should publicly funded cultural institutions reflect all presidents or none at all? A lot of questions here. Let me hear from you. Text me, email me, joey@joeyhudson.com. Love to hear your feedback. And let's be honest, if Obama had added his name instead, would the media reaction look any different? You tell me. Everyone says they'll start after the holidays, and that's exactly why most people never tackle those extra pounds at all. Joey Hudson here. Right now, PhD Weight Loss is making it easy to start before the new year with a bonus designed to get you moving now. They're adding 2 free weeks to your program. That means you can ramp up during the holidays and start the new year already working towards your goals. Those 2 free weeks mean you won't roll into January feeling behind. You'll hit January already losing, already feeling better, already in control. PhD's metabolic reset system teaches your body to burn fat first. No drugs, no starvation diets, no endless workouts, just a smarter science-based system that fits real life. And when you mention 2 weeks on the phone, they'll waive your consultation fee and pay for the cost of your food during the entire program. There's no reason to wait, no reason to repeat last year. Call PhD Weight Loss today and start 2026 already ahead. 864-644-1900. Call today. That's 864-644-1900. Or go to myphdweightloss.com. Don't wait. Do it today. Speaking of Democrat families, the Biden family Christmas greeting went out, and it was a bit odd. I guess it wouldn't be a Biden Christmas without a little confusion and controversy, right? Well, this year's holiday head-scratcher comes courtesy of a festive family photo posted by former President Joe Biden on Christmas Eve. On the surface, it's your typical holiday picture. Christmas trees in the background. You have this family gathered, smiles all around. But social media lit up like a Christmas tree, pun intended, when people notice one peculiar detail. Joe Biden is barely in the shot. You can barely see Joe Biden behind his sweet wife, Jill. Right there in his own Christmas post, the former president is awkwardly tucked away in the back, half hidden behind Jill Biden, while Hunter Biden, the former first son, is very prominent, right in the middle. Of all people, stands right in the center of this photo shoot. Now, you'd think the former leader of the free world might get the front row in his own family's holiday greeting, right? But nope. Didn't happen. People online had a field day. One person joked, "Took me a while to find you, champ." Another wrote, "Where's Joe?" Kind of like a political version of "Where's Waldo?" And then came the real eyebrow raiser, Hunter's placement. Critics weren't exactly feeling the Christmas spirit overseeing the scandal-plagued former first son, thank goodness, right up front like the star of the show, dead center. One comment summed it up with, "Hunter is the alpha now." Others weren't so subtle, sharing edited versions of the photo with a not-so-subtle nod to Hunter's past. You can guess the rest in some of the editorial comments that were taken. Now, of course, there were some warm wishes mixed in. A few Biden supporters chimed in with messages of peace and unity and hoping to move past the drama. But let's be honest here. This isn't just about a bad photo angle. This is about perception. And right now, Biden world seems a little off focus, both literally and politically. Not that it matters anymore. With Hunter front and center and the president barely visible, it's a snapshot that feels symbolic of the confusion and chaos that surrounded his family and the Biden administration for the last few years, right? Whether it's a questionable influence investigations or just plain awkward optics, it's hard not to look at this photo, this Christmas photo, and think, yep, this sums it up. This sums the Biden family and Joe Biden's past few years up beautifully. I mean, who would allow a Christmas photo to go out when you could just barely see the elder statesman of the family? Forget about your politics. Forget about how you feel about Joe Biden. Just think about any family photo, a Christmas photo, a Christmas card. The elder statesman, the leader of the family, is going to be front and center, right? You see half of Joe Biden's head. Merry Christmas, folks. Hope your family photos make more sense than this. Yet another case of the phrase we've heard 1,000 times, do you know who I am? Have you heard this story out of Rhode Island? It's not a Hollywood story this time. It's not a celebrity meltdown at an airport or a congressional meltdown at an airport. It was a prominent Rhode Island Democrat pulled over on suspicion of DUI, and the body cam video, well, is something. The story is about Maria Bushy, 51 years old, chairwoman of the Democrat Committee in Cranston, Rhode Island, the second largest city in the state, former city council member, former mayoral candidate, recently ran for the state house, not exactly an unknown figure in local politics. And according to newly released police footage, she wasted no time trying to leverage that status, telling the officer, you know who I am, right? Here's the exchange.
Just a glass of wine. Like
That's
I
it?
told you. Yeah.
Just one glass of wine.
It's my cousin. I'm taking her home. We went to a Christmas party. I don't drink. Very random. Nor would I drive if I drank. My husband would drive if I was drinking.
Okay.
I think I'm pretty cool, so it's fine.
So I can smell alcohol coming off your breath right now, and your driving was pretty erratic. So you can make all the faces you want.
I'm just saying, if you
That's
want
perfectly
to do that,
fine.
Embarrass me.
I'm not embarrassing you, miss.
Well,
You
though.
put yourself in this position, not me. So
I
listen,
didn't drink.
miss, stay in the vehicle. Stay in the vehicle. Stay in the vehicle. Stay in the
I told
vehicle.
you she drinks. Stop embarrassing us.
I'm not embarrassing you, miss.
You
I'm
are.
doing my job. Yeah. Oh, I am.
You know I am,
All right.
though, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay,
You love
that's
me,
fine.
right?
All right. I'm sorry. What did
You
you
know
say?
I am, right?
I don't know who you are, miss, and I frankly,
You don't
I
care,
no,
right?
I really don't. Frankly, I don't.
And you know
That's
what?
so listen. So
the
listen to
other
me.
day-
So listen to me, okay? You can start throwing out names and start
I would never throw out a
doing
name.
out what
I
you
didn't
need to
throw out
do.
a name.
It's not going to work with me. I'm telling you right now. I'm not the guy for that.
And I'm
telling
not
you.
the girl for that either.
Well, you're starting that. You're starting it. You are.
He said her straight. I'm not the guy for that. I mean, that's the kind of police work that we want, isn't it? That America respects. Calm, professional. He's not intimidated by titles or party affiliation. It's equal treatment. Exactly how it should be. The officer begins the field sobriety test, and from there, things go even further south, further downhill. Bushy says she had a glass of wine at a Christmas party, but as the test continues, she grows frustrated. And as you heard at one point, she later comes back saying, call my husband, call the attorney general, call everybody. This is disgusting. God forbid I was a black person, I'd be arrested, she said. Well, she was arrested because this police officer finally just got over her antics. A politician invoking race mid-DUI stop while also asking police to phone powerful friends to get her out of trouble. That's kind of a moment, and it's all on camera. I mean, he kept telling her, ma'am, this is being recorded. She either didn't believe it or didn't care about it. President Trump and his allies are promoting what they are calling a historic economic achievement, a 79% increase in the rate of U.S. GDP growth since the fourth quarter of 2024, the final fourth quarter of the Biden administration. How'd they do it? We'll get into that in just a moment. First, you can't make this stuff up. We've heard of cargo theft before. We've heard of Wells Fargo trucks being robbed, hijacked. Federal investigators are now looking into a $400,000 shipment of lobsters that just simply vanished on its way to Costco warehouses in Illinois, Minnesota prior to Christmas. Somewhere between Massachusetts and the Midwest, a truckload of lobster was hijacked and never arrived. This isn't the plot of a Netflix documentary. This is a real story, a real news story. The seafood was picked up in Taunton, Massachusetts. It was loaded up, paperwork squared away, and then poof, gone. No delivery, no driver check-in, No lobsters hitting the Costco cold case for Christmas. The CEO of Rex and Companies, that's the Indiana logistics firm handling the shipment, says he believes this was not a random theft, but part of a larger organized cargo theft ring. These groups have been increasingly targeting high-value loads of different types of foods, electronics, pharmaceuticals, anything that's easy to sell on the black market, anything expensive, anything hard to trace once it's gone. Now, I get that. Look, I understand a load of electronics, maybe TVs and computers or something, maybe even a load of pharmaceuticals. But a load of lobsters? First off, you got to sell them pretty quickly. You got to have a network ready to buy those lobsters because they're not going to be around for very long. So if you got a good deal for lobster prior to Christmas, you may have bought some of the lobsters that had been hijacked. Apparently, and the FBI is officially investigating, and so far no arrest. Homeland Security, though, has been tracking the problem for months, launching something called Operation Boiling Point to crack down on organized retail theft. They estimate cargo theft is costing businesses between $15 and $35 billion every single year. And that's not just lost product, that's higher insurance, higher shipping costs, and guess who ends up paying the bill at the end, at the checkout line? That's you and me, because yes, it's just built right into the price of the product. And here's where it gets bigger than just lobsters. These groups hit trucks at ports, at truck stops, distribution hubs, even rail cars. Sometimes it's a simple hook and go, grab the trailer and disappear. Other times it's coordinated. Fake drivers, forged paperwork, stolen identities, ghost trucking companies set up just to intercept the load. And believe me, it's not amateur hour. These are well-organized groups. It's organized crime. It's probably mafia related. And as Homeland Security pointed out, while these cargo thieves might not be the same ones stealing razor blades out of CVS, they often feed into the same black market buyers, the same distribution networks that move stolen goods quickly, that can move counterfeit products, even narcotics and human trafficking profits. One weak spot in the supply chain, an opportunist will rush right in. Now we've reached a point where we're not just losing TV sets. We're losing lobster tails by the truckload. In a world where everything is more expensive, everything is harder to ship, and supply chains are stretched thin, this is exactly the kind of crime that drives prices higher. It's the perfect illustration of why logistical security matters, because one missing truck isn't just a story, it's a symptom of a system that evidently is breaking down. And before you laugh at lobster theft, remember, that's food headed to shelves. It affects the supply of something that people buy. Some people may have been expecting the lobster for their annual Christmas dinner and weren't able to get it at their local Costco. It's another example of how criminals exploit weak transportation oversight because they know penalties are low. Enforcement is kind of reactive and not necessarily at the top of the list for the FBI to look for a truckload of lobster. The DOT is now asking for public input on how to stop cargo theft, which tells you this is no longer a niche issue. It's a national issue. So here we are, somewhere out there. There was a mountain of lobster tails sitting in a warehouse or maybe a freezer truck or being sold, again, under the table to restaurants and smugglers for pennies on the dollar. If you got a good lobster dinner for a very good price at Christmas, you may have been supporting this criminal enterprise. All right, so in these final weeks of this year, final quarter, the most recent government estimates point to strong quarterly expansion in our economy, with Biden ending his term with an anemic GDP growth rate of just 2.4% last year. That's barely above recessionary levels. With less than a year in office, Trump's economic policies are causing the economy to boom with an annualized rate of 4.3% in third quarter 2025. This is according to the latest data from the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis. In social media posts over the Christmas holiday, President Trump has framed the economy as entering a golden age with White House aides crediting a suite of policy moves like tax cuts, tariffs, deregulation, energy strategy. And boy, speaking of energy strategy, what about gas prices? I had to run out on Christmas Eve to run a few errands, and I really hadn't paid attention to fuel prices in the last week or so. And I pulled into my local convenience store, looked up, $2.19 a gallon. I mean, that's just amazing how quickly that has come down. And as I've told you in the past, folks, this is just the beginning. With those fuel prices coming down, we're going to see cost of other goods come down too, because the transportation costs are going to start decreasing. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett, back to the Trump administration, said the 4.3 GDP growth is happening because of Trump's policies, but Biden's policies did things like reduce real incomes by $3,000. Now, an internal White House memo that was circulated last week argued that the Trump agenda has unleashed this growth. Let me give you some examples. They pointed out enacting a sweeping tax and budget bill, the one big beautiful bill, which proponents say has boosted business investment and disposable income. And we're just seeing the beginning of that. Many other parts of that are going to be kicking in 2026. Raising tariffs on imported goods, an effort the administration says has helped narrow the trade deficit and stimulate domestic manufacturing. Rather than ship those items in and have to pay the tariff, more and more manufacturers are returning to the U.S. to build their products right here, which creates more jobs as well. Rolling back regulations across energy, banking, and environmental sectors to reduce compliance burdens and spur corporate activity, it has been huge, particularly the rolling back of the regulations. You got to make things easier for businesses to operate. If they're burdened with over-regulation, with government sticking their nose in places it should not be there, you and I pay for it in the end. They also pointed out the lower energy prices, as I just mentioned, oil and gas, as part of a broader energy independence, which the Trump administration says has lowered business costs and has spurred a lot of other things to happen in the economy. They talked about reducing interest rates, a goal the administration has publicly advocated for, arguing that lower borrowing costs will further stimulate investment and consumer spending. We've seen interest rates come down. There's more work to be done on that. In a True Social post, after the latest GDP report, the president celebrated the data and reiterated his belief that his policies are fueling economic momentum, saying, quote, the numbers will only get better. And that's the message. That's what Americans have to start feeling. Not just reading about, not just hearing about on the radio, me telling you. You got to start feeling it, and I believe we're going to see that in first quarter of 2026. Trump's tariff policies have been central to his economic message. The average American person, not quite sure about it yet. According to government tariff trackers, the administration's tariff rates on imports rose in 2025, of course, as we know, with revenue from customs and excise taxes climbing dramatically. Supporters argue, of course, the higher tariffs are helping U.S. producers by creating a more protected domestic market. Critics, independent analysts, caution that tariffs can raise consumer prices. We've seen some of that. But so far, things seem to be turning around for the better. And again, a big part of that is the oil prices. They've been falling, and you've seen that. You have noticed that at the pump. In 2024, crude averaged about $81 per barrel, but this year crude averaged about $69 a barrel, and it continues to fall. Folks, the new year is looking up. The new year, 2026, I believe we have some great things that we're going to be able to celebrate and look forward to. Your comments are welcome on the Furman Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. Speaking of the Furman Ford text line, it's never been more important to support locally run businesses owned by people who actually live here in the upstate. Let me take a minute to talk with you about our friends at Furman Ford. If you're looking for a new vehicle, maybe a great pre-owned vehicle, one you can trust, or maybe you're looking to order that special vehicle. Either way, if you want a new one, a brand new one, or a pre-owned that you can trust, the folks at Furman Ford, they're there to help you. Their name is on the sign because their name is on the line, because every single transaction is important to them. Jim Furman, Matthew Furman. They do business the right way. When you stop by, when you give them a call, or maybe when you just send them a quick email, you're always going to have access to a member of the Furman Ford family. And by the way, they also offer great service, and you're not going to have to wait weeks and weeks to get it done. And you do not have had to purchase your vehicle at Furman Ford. Doesn't even have to be a Ford. They service all makes and models. Visit my friends at Furman Ford online at furmanford.com, furmanford.com. Did you run out and buy a Powerball ticket on Christmas Eve? Well, some lucky family had their best Christmas yet. A ticket in Arkansas matched the winning numbers drawn on Christmas Eve for Powerball's $1.817 billion jackpot. Wow. Now, the grand prize has an estimated cash value of $834 million. It's the second largest U.S. lottery jackpot ever won, according to the lottery folks. The largest jackpot lottery was won on November the 7th, 2022, when a California ticket claimed the $2.04 billion. The winning numbers were drawn on Christmas Eve. The Matt Strawn is the Powerball Product Group Chair and Iowa Lottery CEO, said, "Congratulations to the newest Powerball jackpot winner. This is truly an extraordinary, life-changing prize." Life-changing is an understatement. The winner will have the choice between the annuitized prize of the $1.817 billion or a lump sum payment of, like I said, about $834 million. If a winner selects the annuity option, they will receive one immediate payment followed by 29 annual payments that increase 5% each year. Both prize options are, of course, before taxes. Taxes are going to get about half of that. So eventually, someone will come forward. We don't know their name, may never know their name, but they'll come forward to claim their riches. But have you ever thought about, what if they don't? What if that winning ticket is stuck between somebody's seat in their car, or maybe they just lost it. They put it in their coat pocket, and they forgot they even bought it. An astounding number of people who purchase South Carolina education lottery tickets, and I would imagine this same phenomenon happens all around the country. This is specific, though, to South Carolina. They don't claim the prize money when they win. According to the South Carolina Revenue and Fiscal Affairs Office, that amounts to about $30 million each year. Tickets for drawings can be, again, misplaced. Maybe you just forget to check them. I mean, I don't buy lottery tickets that often. I'll buy one for a big one like the $1 billion one the other day. But I have bought them before, and I just forget to check them. And I stash them away, and I forget them. I found one the other day that was from back in 2022. I'd never checked. Prize wins can be missed on other ways, too, though, not just buying the tickets, like the scratch-off tickets. Ticket owners can overlook less valuable secondary prizes. Again, maybe it's $10 or $100, or they could pass through. They could pass away before turning them in. A lot of different ways on why they're not claimed. South Carolina Education Lottery spokeswoman Holly Armstrong said, "I know we had someone who was cleaning out their mother's home and found some winning tickets. It was too late. It's very rare for someone to call us," she added. The largest prize to ever go unclaimed in South Carolina was a cool $1 million on a Powerball ticket purchased in Clarendon County community of Gable, South Carolina in 2023. Someone had beaten the odds of 1 in 11,688,000 to win the prize. They did not collect by matching 5 numbers, but not the Powerball. Printed draw tickets, the ones that you buy at that are produced at the register there with the numbers on them for the power play, 5 other games in South Carolina, they must be claimed within 180 days of the drawing of the winning numbers, or you forfeit. For those scratch-off tickets, which account for most lottery spending, I'm told, and which surprises me, I didn't realize that. I've never done a scratch-off at all. It's 90 days from the last day that particular game is sold. Draw tickets for the big games like the Powerball, the Mega Millions, they have multiple prize tiers depending on how many numbers are matched and whether the special number is matched. There are 9 potential prizes for every Powerball ticket. For example, those hoping for a big payoff might not check if they won the smallest $4 prize. Scratch-off tickets can also have multiple prizes, according to lottery officials. Lots of numbers to compare, many boxes to check. A $20 Magnificent Jumbo Bucks scratch-off, for example, according to the officials, has 8 player numbers to reveal, 25 potential matching numbers, and 3 bonus boxes. Again, some people just don't take the time to take that extra, to make that extra check. When they realize that they didn't win the big one, they don't worry about the smaller amounts. And again, that money adds up. If you multiply that by hundreds and thousands of people around the state who may have won $4 or $10 or $100 who don't claim the prize, you soon get to that $30 million number each year. The annual unclaimed prize is a small percentage, though, of the roughly $1.5 billion the state lottery paid out to winners in the most recent full year of operations. So think about that. $1.5 billion paid out in winnings. When prize money goes unclaimed, the state says, they just keep it, primarily for education spending and scholarships. They roll it back into their budget. In the year since the first South Carolina education lottery ticket was sold, that was 2002, unclaimed prize money has added up to more than $468 million. This is as of a month or so ago, late 2025. And that amount, according to a lot of lottery officials, has been growing annually. Again, $30 million a year. At that rate, the lottery system will likely reach a milestone, they say, in 2027 when the amount of unclaimed prize money hits the $500 million mark. Wow. That's a lot of money, isn't it? After prize money payouts, advertising, and other expenses, of course, the South Carolina lottery proceeds fund college scholarships, support state spending on the K through 12 education and higher education. In the last budget year, that added up to $690 million. That's a lot of money to apply towards education. It's done a lot of good. Now, it's also done some bad, too, because lottery, of course, is gambling. Many people, and you may recall, if you lived in South Carolina and the Palmetto State for any length of time, you remember the poker machines and the big debate when legislators decided to literally put poker machines out of business. And this was, there were family-owned businesses who had these poker machines. And people made the argument that, well, that's bad. People get addicted to playing the poker machines, so we're going to put them out of business and basically put the state in the business of gambling, because that's what the lottery did. Like it or not, the lottery is just another form of gambling. And you have primarily poor, less educated people who participate in the lottery on a regular basis. Now, there's probably everybody at some point in time has played the lottery. Everybody does. But again, the ones who do it every week, maybe multiple times a week or every time they get their paycheck, those are the ones that it ends up being a lot larger percentage of their income than maybe a higher income individual. But hey, I just thought it was interesting that $30 million goes unclaimed every year. That's it for today's edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined my mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, join me on my YouTube channel. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe. Just search for Joey Hudson. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Do me a favor and forward this episode to a few friends. just click on the share button and send to your contacts. We need to build an army of conservatives to win our country back, and we can do that by continuing to share the truth with our friends and family. Keep those comments coming via the Furman Ford text line 864-477-JOEY. Email to joey@joeyhudson.com, and I love your messages on the MyPillow message line. Again, that's 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Be sure and take advantage of the MyPillow special, just $14.88 on the standard MyPillows when you use promo code JOEY. Order online at MyPillow.com or call 800-893-4053. We're back again tomorrow and hope you'll plan to join us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.